Welcome to Introduction to Self-Hosted WordPress and Woocommerce Store Setup, presented by us, fastwebpros.com. We are a business consulting and technology firm that helps with everything from business strategy, marketing, concept validation, to actual web development. We have been in the industry for over 30 years, and we're primarily a referral business. So all of these years, clients have been referred to us, kind of down the line. We don't really do a lot of advertising or, any of the type of normal marketing that most folks will have to do. We get asked a lot of times about, is there a tutorial or some way for us to, set up our own website if we, don't have a budget, or, the resources and that type of thing for us to, hire you as a firm, etc. for our new store setup. And so we've decided to kind of put together a video series to help. Now, this video series assumes that you've already decided that you want to get into business in WordPress and sell something, either as a sole proprietorship or a corporation, and that you've already, set up your sales and use tax permit or whatever is required in your state in order to operate a business. We're going to kind of take you in the first part of the video series step by step. There's a lot that goes into setting up a WordPress or WooCommerce store. It's not quite the way it was in the beginnings of the internet, where if you hurry up and got a store online, you were the only one out there and people would find you, and then you would just make tons of money. It's a lot of work. This is just kind of the base bones of actually setting up the infrastructure and that, so that you can run your own site doing whatever you would like to do, and not being kind of hamstrung or encumbered by limitations that would be put onto you if you bought a platform, whether it be Wix or something similar to do instead of WordPress, or if it was something like Shopify or etc. to open your own store. A WordPress WooCommerce type setup, most of the plugins are GPL, so you can get most of the plugins out there for free. The pricing as far as setting up your own WordPress self-hosted WooCommerce store, starts probably looking at about $15, maybe $20 a month at the most. And then typically other costs would maybe be a theme or something like that you'd like to run, that would maybe run you, say, a one-time fee of like $60 or something like that. There's not a ton of incremental costs. You can set it up fairly inexpensively. To most people, like I said, it is very daunting. It can take a lot of videos and that sort of thing in order to kind of, wrap your head around how to set up, a fully optimized, fast website that's good in organic SEO and all of the other, requirements for running a store. So on the first part of the series, we're going to run through kind of just the basic first part of the infrastructure to actual setting up WordPress and WooCommerce and getting your bare bones in there before you, start thinking about additional plugin setups, copywriting, marketing, SEO optimization, and all the kind of finer details that most people learn actually over years of setting up their own website. So the first part of the series, there's going to be 8 videos in it that'll be separated. We'll try to do them as best we can. We don't normally do videos and that kind of stuff. We edit them for other people. Like I said, we're a referral business, so just kind of bear with us. We're usually kind of on the other end of this because we're not regular content creators. So the first part, we're going to do finding and purchasing a domain name for your WooCommerce store, and what registrars and that we recommend, the 3 main ones that we use and kind of why. And then we'll go through purchasing a VPS server, whether it's what people are used to seeing like cPanel, which is a WHM server, or a Plesk, which are the 2 main web servers that run WordPress and pretty much everything on the planet besides like Microsoft type code. The reason we recommend a VPS is you will get the most flexibility and the least limitations in your website, especially if your website starts to grow and you want to do other things like marketing and newsletters and that type of setup. Next will be purchasing an easy to use theme for your WooCommerce store. We have one that 99% of our businesses run. It's the #1 theme that's out there. You do not have to use it, but most of the videos we are going to go over the base setup and optimization for using the Aveda theme, just because it's just easier for most people to use and easier for them to kind of wrap their heads around, and we've been using it since version, I think, 0 or whatever it was. The next will be connecting your domain name to WordPress and your WooCommerce store and your VPS hosting. We're, like I said, going to take you step by step. We're going to not get too granular in the initial setup to make it just a little easier, because it can get very detailed, especially if you're doing performance tuning of your server for organic SEO and Google Local. And then we'll show you how to set up the free SSL. You don't need to buy SSLs or any of that type of stuff that all of these web hosts offer you. You'll be able to have a free certificate for as many sites as you want when you purchase a VPS server. And then next we'll go over the basic WordPress WooCommerce setup, kind of the minimum pages that you'd want inside your website, setting up the basic PHP settings on your server, gzip settings, Nginx, and as well as memory settings for your server. And then we'll go into installing WordPress and basic WordPress setup for your store. So it's kind of the server connected first, then we get that all set up, and then we'll actually install WordPress and WooCommerce. And then the last of the first series will be installing the Aveda theme, basic plugins, and the basic WooCommerce setup. So just the infrastructure and the basic pieces. And then in the next video, we'll actually go into kind of starting a store and that type of setup, like what your store looks like, theming, and then some more in-depth optimizations and etc. Like I said, this is our first video, so be sure to put anything down in the comments below. We're not monetizing this. If you need help with a WooCommerce store or WordPress help, feel free to give us a call. We work with everybody from Fortune 500 to, mom and pop startups. We're always very reasonable. But there's not going to be any advertising inside of these videos. I'll put links, but they're not going to be affiliate links and that type of stuff to the different hosting companies and that. This is just kind of a way during the pandemic. We know a lot of people are at home and they've always wanted to start an online business, and we're just going to try to help you walk steps by step through the process. We'll try to make the videos as quickly as possible, as simple as possible. And then in the comments, any questions that you have, any granularity, we'll try to find you an answer to, and get you some help as soon as possible. We appreciate it, everyone, and I hope y'all have a fabulous day.